Hey YouTube, it's Brutalis.
Hey.
Today we're checking out Winter's Ember, a new game that launched. Action-adventure stealth game where you play as Arthur. I've played the game for a few hours and I'm going to share with you my impressions of the game.
Maybe.
Let's start off with the story. Story is decent, shown to us in pretty okay anime style cutscenes. We find out more about Arthur at the beginning. He's an upper class citizen with a rich family that liked to play around and avoid the responsibility. Well, his good lifestyle is interrupted by criminals that invade his home while he and his family were sleeping, with a clear objective to exterminate Arthur and everyone in his family. Arthur is lucky, although the assassins beat him and torch the house and leave him for dead. He gets rescued by the one night stand lady that he was hanging with. So it's mostly a revenge story, similar to Batman, to be honest, so nothing original here. But I like the decent animations in the cutscenes, so I guess the story gets an okay from me. Let's check out the gameplay. So after training for years, Arthur becomes a skilled assassin and will be using his skills throughout the game. He can shoot arrows, backstab guards, pick locks, the usual skills that we can encounter in stealth type games. Although stealth is recommended and easier, you can also fight the enemies head on. You can block their attacks, counter block, dodge, and it's really not that hard to fight enemies head on, as long as you fight only one enemy at a time. When you fight more enemies, the situation is a bit trickier. You have to pay more attention because you can lose all your HP quite fast and die. And there's a big problem with dying in this game, because you cannot manually save the game. You have to save it at shrines, and the shrines are pretty rare. I think I've only encountered one shrine per level. Fortunately, the game also auto-saves when you finish a level successfully, so you don't have to go to a previous level if you die and don't find a shrine at your current level that you're at. You will also earn loot by pickpocketing enemies, open chests, boxes, drawers, and other objects in the world. And you have a crafting system where you can craft arrows and other items. And with the looted objects, you can sell them for gold to buy lockpicks or to learn new skills. You can also practice your platforming skills in the game. You can climb ropes and hang to edges and move around edges while hanging. But unfortunately, the platforming isn't really that satisfying. It's clunky. I fell down a lot of times and to me it was frustrating, and I would have felt better if platforming wasn't required in the game and I could just avoid it altogether. I also didn't like the camera angles. I found myself a lot of times bumping into enemies because the camera angle prevented me from seeing my enemy location. There is no option to highlighting enemies on the map, but fortunately they don't have an alarm meter, and they will get help only if other guards are around them, but they will not try to escape and alert other guards. So most of the times you won't get swarmed by other enemies and you can just fight them head on. That spoils the immersion a bit, because this should be a stealth game. But if you're like me, you'll mostly end up a lot of the times just fighting enemies head on and forget about the stealth element. Fortunately, fighting enemies is okay, and the blood splatter make the fights interesting and fun. Arthur can get hurt in these sword fights, and if he gets hurt, he will bleed around the entire level. Blood will just spill from his body all the time. That doesn't drop your character HP meter, so that is a bit strange, but you can use the blood to lure guards to ambushes. And it's pretty easy to ambush guards, because if you aren't near a light source, they're pretty blind and they won't see you, and you can backstab them quite easily. Although the game isn't bad, and the developer clearly put a lot of effort into making this game, and I didn't encounter any bugs, it was a hard game to like for me. Maybe because of the lack of Arthur's personality. He doesn't say anything when he's fighting enemies. But if you are a fan of stealth adventure games and you want to try out a new game, you should try the game out, or at least wishlist it on Steam to support indie developers. Thanks for watching. I've played Winter's End. Tell me what you think about my video. Drop me a like, comment, or a subscribe. That helps me a lot. Have a great day. Goodbye.
It's bloody freezing.